What's that? Yep.
That's what you're exactly. No Jeremy tonight.
Okay, guys. The meeting's called to order. Jan?
Okay, so first up, we have, it's a continuation and a vote, for 31 Allen Street. I think, Walter, Mr. Chad?
Minutes.
Oh, right.
Do the minutes first.
Can we ratify or have discussion about the March 22nd HPC meeting?
Those are good minutes.
They were really excellent.
That's right.
Especially.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Agenda.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you. Next up is 31 Allen Street. Hi, Walter. Good morning.
Good morning.
Safe, so welcome.
Okay, hi, I'm looking to see how can I share my screen with you?
I can stop sharing, or I have your revised document, whichever you would prefer.
Do you have the one I just sent Phil, which has the French doors that I omitted from the previous one?
You should. I forwarded it this morning. Walter.
Great, that would be great, Jan. If you could do that, we'll save everybody a lot of wasted time.
Yep. Doing that now.
Walter, could you just recap, if you don't mind, what were the,
Yeah, well, the
got
specific,
Bill in response to the prior meeting?
yeah, the specific things that I was asked about at the meeting was the chimney, which there was confusion about, I admit, the roof, which I was in error on, it turns out, and the windows, which I did supply those elements, and then I noted in the minutes that it also mentioned the doors, which I took to be the patio doors. So we added those, and I put the elements that were requested right on this first page. So Jan, that is actually not the most current drawing, but we can roll with this. I added above the plumbing riser diagram just a picture of a nice pair of Marvin exterior French doors, wood French doors to match the ultimate wood double hung window. And I sent that to Phil and Craig this morning. So hopefully.
Let me double check. I thought I just opened the latest thing.
Yeah,
but-
I
It
promise
would've
you,
done
it's not a huge deal because the doors are just like my picture and like the window, they're wood with glass in them. So we
Okay,
can,
well,
Hold on, it is important that we have the right plans and the right date. So
Right.
let's start
Okay,
with
sorry.
one of your new plan set. The
so
one that you sent.
Phil, can you forward the most recent to Jan? I think I got,
I'm opening the document that I received this morning at 8:47 a.m.
Great.
says we're set.
Yes.
And this is that document.
So what is the date of the plan for the minutes?
The date is, I don't see the date.
The original submission.
No.
Okay, so you're saying that I sent Phil the wrong document it's still missing the doors.
I
Yeah.
am saying, that if this is the document that I received at 8:47, which it is,
Okay.
I don't see a
Okay.
set of doors.
Okay, well then, with your permission, I'd like to describe the doors. And Victoria, I guess you would like me to send the actual document. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to pause for a second.
Okay,
And Phil, I'm going to share this with you and Jan, I think.
Thank you.
Can you pull it up on your screen, Walter, so we can?
Yeah, no, I can. I just, I'm not sharing. If I could screen share, that would solve it.
Let me stop sharing and let's have you do that. That would
Okay.
be fine.
Great.
Okay, you should be ready to share now.
Okay, it doesn't give me an option on my screen to share. I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm used to Zoom, not Teams. How do you share on Teams?
See the button up at the top right on the nav bar, it says share.
Next to the red button.
Next to the button that says leave.
Brilliant. This says show participants. I must have a different screen. All right, this is so frustrating. Let me, I'm just gonna email it again right now.
Okay, thank you.
you emailed it last night at 6:40, whatever.
But if you didn't email the right set, is what happened.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I sent you a set this morning, which I think you maybe didn't get.
No, I didn't get it.
Then something dropped out. Maybe that's the problem. This thing keeps dropping out.
Should we go to another one while we're waiting so we can?
That'd be great. We can, Walter, get a little organized and let's move on.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes,
No, no,
I'll
no,
do that.
no worries.
I'll do
We
that.
have a whole bunch of sign applications, which hopefully we can move through real quickly. First up, Jan, I think is 609 Warren,
Yes, 609 Warren.
Shirley Gallery. Good morning.
Morning, how you doing?
Good.
I'm Tom from Next Gen, I'm representing Hula Gallery. Sorry, I got a whole bunch of applications here. So, it's a little composite sign with raised lettering, 36 high, 24 wide. Going on a 2-inch square tree.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks, Jan.
Mounted above the street.
We got it. We can see it right behind you.
Very white lettering. The other slide was mounted. We got 9 foot, 5 foot clearance. It's on. Yes, slide over. Sorry.
Okay. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Existing bracket or new bracket?
It's a new bracket. There's an existing bracket there now that is from a different gallery. It's like a scrolly, he just wanted a simple square. It's
So it's just like an angle, like
not even an angle, it's basically the tube coming straight up.
I like it.
I vote to approve.
Let's do it the regular way. Motion to find the application complete. Hugh and Miranda, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the application, request city attorney for event. Hugh and Miranda, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You're approved.
Okay. Which one you want to do next? Whatever you want.
What do you got next?
Stuff I have, I hope this is you, 226.
What's yours?
Yep.
Is that it? Let's do it.
That's another thing.
Okay.
Basically the same kind of sign, aluminum composite sign, raised lettering. It's a white sign with blue lettering that's raised. Some vinyl graphics surface applied. The 40 by 30, we're under the square footage by black, and that one's a little bit higher, I think that's 11 foot. Same exact bracket, just square, simple two.
Yeah, why are there two signs on the building?
That one's the one next door, it's a split building. It's like 226 and a half and 226. I don't know who that's, the picture's deceiving. It's the one next door. It's their separate space.
I see, it's kind of done, one way high and one not so high.
It's perspective of how it's looking at the street. They're gonna be pretty much on the same level.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
In that case, I love it.
A motion to find the application complete. John and not voted in a while, Kim. Motion to approve the application for city attorney search CBA. You and Kim, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
Okay, next up I have,
60 South Front.
The caboose.
South Front, the caboose.
Yep. So these are 1/4 inch, cut letters, pictures of what you see.
You can see it here.
Yeah,
Sort
they're
of.
1/4 inch cut letters on 2 really thin rails that to be pin mounted to the building. Painted gray. No lighting, no, it's very simple.
Beautiful.
To be nice, man.
Motion to find the application complete. Kim and you.
Well, is there lighting with that?
There's no lighting.
No. You can say that. All in favor, we're complete. Motion to approve the application and request the city attorney for CDA. And that would be Kim and Miranda, all in favor. Any opposed? No, that's approved.
And it's extremely more, and it's extremely.
Let's see.
Yes.
Looking as fast as I can. Yes, this is 502.
North of Hudson.
No, I don't have, I have 701.
Okay.
1971.
Obviously, 701.
701 Warren, that was
701.
Yes,
It's
I
on the
got
last
it
minute.
now.
the last minute one. Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that came in later. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. It's been 2 years. We're trying to get this. 2 years. Yeah.
I'm here for 502 Union.
Okay.
Which,
We got one more before you, 701,
Okay.
with the same applicant, and then we'll come right to you. You're not lost, you'll be found.
okay, is that 502 is, no, what? I'm sorry.
701.
701.
Jan, I think you're still muted.
How's that? Is that
Better.
okay?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you.
This should be 502.
Yeah.
Hudson,
Mhm.
sign.
Wall sign.
So there's actually two signs. One will be on the 5th Street side and one will be on the Cherry Alley side.
Okay. Is there a page that you'd like me to demonstrate that, or?
You can start on the first one just so you can see the size of the two signs. So if you zoom in to the top left where it says graphic,
I see.
Then it shows below, Jan, the positioning.
so the Cherry Alley side will be 56 inches by 46 inches, and then the other side will be 40 inches by 33 inches. So the
And-
side where the archway is the 5th Street side.
These are on the wall, right?
Yep.
They're not a pendant of any kind, got it.
So they'd be bolted and epoxied into the brick. And then if you go to the second page, it'll show you on the corner, so down in the left-hand side, you'll see a box next to the entryway on the left-hand side, which is the Cherry Alley side. And then on the right-hand side of that entry, the double doors, will be where the other side will be located. Bottom left.
Is this right? Am I,
Yep.
is this correct? Is this the page you'd like me to be on?
Correct.
Okay.
So then,
The red
so
lines on-
down at the double doors, yep. So on the left-hand side will be the one sign. And then if you go over to the right just a little bit, you'll see the other red box next to the entry door where the second sign will be located.
I just want to ask, although, you know, we rarely opine on signs, my colleague Hughes asked me to speak up. There's these two signs right next to each other, although, yes, one faces one direction and one faces another. You're gonna run the risk, just one man's opinion, that when you see them like this, it's like, wait, that's a lot of signs on one building, and oh, they're not even aligned, the signs aren't aligned. But, you know, that's just a statement. If this is the signage that y'all want, then I'm sure we can approve it. We've seen it before where signs and renderings seem sensible, and then when put up, it seems oversigned.
If we go to the elevations, Jan, so if you go to the next page, go down.
It's gonna look great on the elevation, but that's my point is that rendering and in reality, it's gonna look a little awkward, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
And then if you go one more page down, this is the 5th Street side.
It's a reflection of the building.
And then
I
on the
think it's-
last page are the specs for the letters themselves. So there's stainless steel letters, channel letters, and then there will be a layer of Lexan, and they'll be internally lit. But it's low voltage and it's all controllable. They're LED lights. So they won't be illuminated very bright.
I think the fact that that there's a door on each side, it isn't only a sign, that you can see it from both sides, there's also directing the entrance.
It was merely a comment that I don't consider it a deal breaker. I think we should vote to waive a public hearing. And I certainly,
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Motion to find the application complete. Hugh and Miranda, all in favor?
Okay.
Motion to approve the application, request the city attorney to prepare a survey. Kim and Hugh, all in favor? Any opposed? It's approved.
Okay, next, 422 and a half. That is the front stoop. I believe we have someone here to speak to that.
Yeah, I'm Travis Horsley from Wagner Hudson Landscape Architects.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
You share your presentation. Okay.
So this is a replacement of an existing stoop. The existing stoop is wood. It's in a pretty bad state of repair. There's also a little way down underneath the stoop that's about 4 feet high.
So slow down a bit. What is it? That's the existing structure right now?
No, the Jennies are, this is the proposed.
Oh, okay.
Keep scrolling. There we go. This is the existing structure. Pull out a little bit.
Okay.
So 422.5, there's 3 buildings in a row that are identical. The one at the end is book, it's sort of book match. This is the one in the middle. So there's a newly replaced stoop at the bottom of the slope. The wood one in the photo is the one we're looking at. And then there's an identical building, one up from that.
That did a very similar or identical restoration.
The one at the bottom of the slope is the recent restoration. I think the one further up the street is quite old. Okay. So there's an existing wood stoop to the downhill side of it, which is the left. There's like a little way underneath this stoop that goes to a door that's about 4.5 feet high that we're proposing just moving entirely. So this would be removed, and we want to proposing replacing the stoop with a stone stoop. Here we go. That basically the steps kind of sweep downhill and cover the way down into that existing way under the stoop. There would be like a lower step that would have a little place for a planter. The concept is that these would be monolithic stone. They would be cut from monolithic bluestone. The new rail would be metal, painted with possibly a bronze handrail, and there would be a little slot for a planter right where it turns around against the building. If you scroll up a little bit, those are some intent images about the material. So it would be thermal finished bluestone, and it possibly could be like a little bit of an ease pillow front, or it could just be like a square finish front.
Yeah, which one are you proposing?
I think it would probably be the square finish one, the one on the top. Yeah.
So this is an asymmetrical design, right?
Yes, it is an asymmetrical design. This Warren Street pitches relatively steeply here. And so, yes, like they do kind of, there's a tendency like it sort of runs downhill.
And so it's sisters. Are they original? Are either of their staircases original?
No, I don't think any of it's original.
Just photos of the building.
You cannot find them.
The elevations look like it's like the steps are really curved in section as well, like, but you're showing that, a detail where it's like a hard edge. Just a little contrary to it,
But I'm not sure what the question is.
because I didn't phrase it well. I'm looking at the elevations of the new where everything looks very curved and very smooth for each of the stone steps, and then just trying to match it to the material that you're picking, that it's going to look like that, I guess is my point.
Well, yeah, that's essentially just the finish of the material. We're talking
Just
about
the
thermal
finish.
finished blue stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't actually done a full scale
Okay.
model on site. That's
No,
just to
of
give you
course.
a sense of the design. And there are many monolithic stone steps in that stretch of Warren Street.
I have a few, it's my student, I have a few notes to just mention. So if you go here, the main thing is that we have this unusable sort of access to the basement, which is really a fire hazard and kind of unsightly. And it's really unusable, there's no way to make that entrance work. So we wanted to come up with a plan that was appropriate to the character of the building, that covered that area and really sort of improved the entire street facing look of the entry. So in order to accomplish that, there's this slightly extended area of the steps. I think even though, when you think about historic, the types of examples we see in Hudson, even though the basic silhouette is slightly different, it does relate to the basic shape of something like a turn step, where you go out and then turn to the left and it sweeps. So we do have kind of that feeling of a step turn. And so it's relating to that kind of idea. We don't have the ability to actually create a turn step. Craig and I looked at all of this and looked at codes and whatnot. And so we don't have the ability to extend the threshold and do a turn step. And yet we need to sort of cover this basement area. In terms of like the roundedness, we're creating a little bit of a radial curve on the edges here, and just echoing that just very slightly here to create a sort of elegant feeling, as opposed to something that feels kind of rigid and constricting and blocky. I think that there's a lot of relationship in the sort of intent of the stuff, the DNA of the design that connects to historical precedents. But yeah, there's a little something happening that I think still is soft enough that to my eye, I think to the firm's eye, it feels appropriate to the building. So that's just kind of a few notes there. In terms of the stone precedent images, we're really just showing stone finish. I mean, this is a new design, so we can't find a remade. It's all going to be custom.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so this is just to show that there'll be sort of a non-slip thermal finish that will make the steps safe. And then the edge, the riser can be plain, or it could be slightly rocked. Either one, I think, could be historically appropriate. The stone on the building itself is this kind of gray stone, it's blue stone. So we're trying to match that stone on the building so that it really looks native.
Thank you. I think it's elegant, personally.
Kim?
I mean, I think it's very pretty. I don't know if we have anything similar to be able to point at and be like, that it plays off of that. I'm trying to think of, I was looking online at Google Maps, but I think it's very elegant.
I think it's elegant too, and I think it's a great attempt to approach it. It is slightly out of character with the period of architecture that we're doing, in my experience. What do you think, if you had to guess, what do you think was there previously? Like, why was there no cover created for this basement opening? And now I can't remember it, of course, right? But,
Yeah.
Like, what was there before that, when that was constructed, was this opening added later? What do you think the history of this spot is?
The history of that little entryway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to say because the door is so short. And we did explore the idea of like trying to make that more usable, but it is just not possible in the space and the sloping that we have. As far as, my research has been being in the home and kind of looking at the basement area and trying to find a sign. Was this a store? Was this servants' quarters? What was this? I don't see any clear indication, one way or the other. I mean, I've met a lot of homes at that time were built with a little basement area, usually as a servants
Right.
entrance.
I have something similar on the side of my house, maybe not the same period, but it was clearly bringing fuel.
Yeah. I see.
And it was.
That's why you don't need a full-size door.
Yeah, they didn't want it. They didn't want a larger opening to the house, but, the door is actually still there. So it's a bit of a nuisance.
That makes the most sense to me, is that it was probably a utility or that they brought
Yeah.
coal through, because everything was coal fired in the house.
In my house anyway, it accesses the space where the boiler is and was. So,
Situation.
anyway, I think it's a very cool solution.
I mean, I'm just gonna ask, because as lovely as this is, and as creative as it is, it's our job to sort of, you know, keep things in an appropriate, community. Is there any opportunity just to like cover that up and make a straight stoop? What you're saying no, so that you can't just do that?
The reason being is if you go back to the detail of the stoop itself.
Yeah, if you're, Tyler has a picture of the measured opening.
I do feel some concern about the fact that there are 3 buildings that have identical stoops, so changing this one will really.
Are they identical? Are they identical at this point?
Yeah, they're all anyway straight down. Some.
Do you see this?
They're not, they're really not.
Maybe I can light a little bit.
No, the one on the left is in a different building. There are 3 buildings in a row that have straight staircases coming down. One has enlarged the entrance to under the stairs. And then there's yours where it's really small. And then there's a 3rd one that doesn't seem to have that entrance under the stairs.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if there might be a way of enclosing that area and turning it into a planter. I mean, if you think about row houses, which exist all over New York City and all over here, there are a lot of examples of ways that people have tried to get rid of that under the stoop door. I do think it's, as everyone has said, it's very creative. It has a certain elegance to it, but I think, in my opinion, I think it'll really stand out.
It's interesting, when you're on Washington Square, you see multiple rows
Yeah,
on the north side where people are struggling with the sand gun doors.
yeah.
And with various solutions. I think that, I don't disagree with what anybody said about it in terms of look and feel, but in terms of code, I think that this is appropriate and compatible. And we're not here to redesign the design. Is it appropriate to the building? Is it compatible with the building? Is it enhancement to the public space? I think it meets those tests, but just my opinion.
I agree with Bill.
I agree with Miranda.
Of course. It's in keeping.
We do not have another example, with all due respect, of a curved asymmetrical stoop on Warren Street. Like it's not of the period and there's not examples of it. I think it's beautiful. But that isn't, again, I'm not here to assess the aesthetics, I'm here to assess the appropriateness. I think Craig is trying to tell us something about the door.
We went out there and met with, the stone guy and the owner. Fun they have here, if you look at, number 2 there, or diagram number 2 on that proposal, just above the 2, there's a, no, Sandon Street. Well, you can see it there. You see where that 3 is? If they were to come out straight like you're talking about, they'd be encroaching within a 4-foot opening that's required by city code. So either they can't do their stoop, which they really have to, because it's an unsafe situation, or they gotta remove the tree. So the only solution was, and if they were to come out square and keep it that way, to gain the square, or the requirement on code, they're gonna block the window of the basement. If you look at that window right to the left of the stairs, that would end up partially probably getting blocked if they wanted to make that infill compliance of safe passageway. So trust me, we were out there with the installer for a little bit of time trying to figure out a way around it. So back to the other screen. If you look right where that tree planter is,
Over on the right, item number 2, right there, yeah. That's a 4 foot from the corner of that tree planter to where that step, the last step turns, which is the only way that would be code compliant.
Yeah, well, maybe part of it is that like it's the curvature of it. I mean, you could look at the railings, like I think that's maybe more of what's even throwing me off of what feels more authentic to when I look at those row houses and think about them. Maybe, like, I understand the footprint, I understand the function and the need, but is there a way to look at that? Like, does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So you're saying keep the issue, let's assume they were 2 separate elements. Let's assume you rebuilt the stairs in that footprint, right? Just as a straight set of stairs going down, and then you made a curved planter element separate. That would obviously comply with the code because it's the same footprint, right? And then you wouldn't have, you would still have straight stairs, which is, I think, what is most appropriate for a building like this. Barring that, it is, I think, the curvature of the handrails that make it look more sculptural and lovely, yet less appropriate for Warren Street in this period of architecture.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, and it is something that I have reflected for 3 years on. And I am, you know, I mean, of course, these fellows are established designers. I also work professionally as a designer, and so have considered these kinds of variants daily about paper. And I guess to your point, you know, there's this sort of element of the word is appropriate, you know, not necessarily matching, you know. And so I think there's some discretionary thinking in that sense of appropriateness.
Mhm.
What we're hoping is we can propose an appropriate design, even if it is not even matching design.
Well said. It is lovely. It is great. It is creative. It's sculptural, as we've circulated. Because of its prominence and because of where it is, and because there is some contention, I would recommend a public hearing on this and hear from others, people that walk by this and look and live with it for centuries rather than decades.
Just to be clear, is there no way to keep the steps as you designed them and just bring the railing straight to match the other side? I think that's what was being asked.
Well,
The other side's also
straight railings would mean to us, I think would mean a complete redesign of what we have. We're trying to, I mean, per
So
design.
I mean, curved slightly, but not as much in it.
What if there's just a railing on the one side?
I think that, well, you all, we've all lived together a while. I think that where there is a coin toss or anything close to it, that there has to be some deference to the applicant. And the fact that they've spent 3 years pondering this, that their money's going into this, that they're living with this, and it's a very, very thoughtful design. I think it's overreach for us to say we have to necessarily modify this. And I don't think it's about compatibility. I think it's about taste preference in this case. Why don't we see what happens in a vote?
So hold on, Phil, we don't have I don't see at least the handrail detail.
Do you have a call out or breakout visual on the railing?
I mean, nothing more than this elevation. The concept is that it would be a custom fabricated metal railing and be painted.
Look like, will there be windows?
There will have to be a couple spindles, like actually a dual there. This probably, this run is probably gonna be a single line.
We're gonna need a detail of rails because code's gonna require spindles. The whole 9 yards, and there wasn't a detail of rail with this.
Yes, so the detail of the rail would have to be forthcoming, but at least this indicates, you know, the line of direction. So, you know, the spindle is is a little easier to deal with, but.
But when you say for, I mean, you would return to that HPC at some point in the future.
Yeah, I could have a meeting just to verify the right way. If we can, if we can agree to move forward on the basic.
Let's see what happens. There are a couple ways to, deal with the missing railing specs. One is to say that, for purposes of getting the whole project done in one gulp, if the application's incomplete, you would then come back in 2 weeks with a graphic presentation of the railing. Or we can go ahead and either approve or disapprove the steps. It's sort of whatever's more helpful. There may be some benefit in coming back with a full detail on the railing, but the steps are still, we don't all agree, so maybe we should take a vote on that.
Well, I think the question before us is whether or not we should waive a public hearing. That's the first question, so we're not voting on whether it's appropriate, it's whether
That's
we
the
want
first
more.
question you raised. It may or may not be the first question.
Well, our first vote is waive a public hearing.
The first vote includes a reference to a public hearing,
And the default is to have a public hearing.
and the default is to have a public hearing. And,
Do we have any members online, by the way?
Jeremy, I think Jeremy's on the West Coast, so I don't think he's.
no, there are no additional members. Victoria, I want to move these guys forward, get on to other cases.
Go for the vote.
Why don't we go ahead and see if we can vote for the application as presented. The railing is going to have to be a separate meeting. You got to bring in the specs and we'll vote on that. And I'll frame it accurately, which is a motion to find the application complete. And the second motion will be as to whether or not we waive a public hearing. May I have a motion to find the application complete? All in favor? Done. May I have a motion to request the city attorney to prepare a C of A and waive a public hearing?
You should take a roll call vote.
Will do. So the motion is to move forward.
This motion is to waive a public hearing.
There's more to the motion than that. It's approve the application as well. You?
Yes.
We go forward without a public hearing.
I vote that we do not waive a public hearing.
I understand. So you're voting against the whole deal. Miranda?
I agree with John. I think we need a public hearing. I don't.
I vote we move forward with the application as presented and waive a public hearing.
I don't have a public hearing.
You're on
You
a
don't
public
vote.
hearing.
Yeah, I think, because I don't want to make this decision based on my own taste
So we have 3 votes.
or a
Three
public
votes
hearing.
not to approve, so now we need to set the public hearing.
What'd you say?
I think Kim voted nay,
I
She
did.
did.
I did.
so
All right, we'll set a public hearing for 2 weeks from,
And we can expedite it still if we bring at that time.
you can bring in the
specs
drawings
on
up on the rail, maybe we get it all done.
I want some clarification. I'm not exactly
You deserve it.
sure here. You know, first of all, I mean, just based on what you said, that imply end of public hearing where you're dealing with taste and opinion, essentially, is going to imply a redesign. That's what that's gonna.
Not at all.
So if we're, you know, we sort of have to parse out here, are we waiting for details on the railing or are we still having to question the entire intent?
We're just saying be very efficient if at that same meeting you have the railing specs, that's all. The public, it looks like we got a public hearing coming forward. The public hearing are sometimes quite useful. Not always. I agree that commentary tends to veer towards taste, but not always. And last and certainly not least, we are not obligated to take direction from a public hearing. And sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
I would also just, if I could, I would disagree that the public gives us only their taste, right? There's often, there are members of the public who are very interested in history and in incompatibility and appropriateness of elements of Warren Street particularly, but everywhere. So we get all sorts of information from the public. And I want to be clear, it's to get that information that we're having it, right? So someone may bring a picture of the building Someone may have information that we don't have, and we would use that information in making our decision. It's not just to punt this or to get other people's opinion.
Sure.
It's actually, our default is to get that, as you heard in the vote, not to waive it.
Right.
On a sign, we waive it, like, we don't need public input on it. This is a little more important because
Sure.
it's common.
Yeah, so there will be some other input, I guess, just from where we're sitting right now, if we were a design team sitting together thinking about this street design. Are we feeling mostly like we can move forward with details on railing, or there's still some questions about the fundamental nature of the design?
The railing issue is up to you. I mean, the board's not gonna give you any feedback you've heard already. That some of the members have concerns, so they can't prejudge what the outcome's gonna be. So you're just gonna have to decide whether you wanna give them the railing design so they can move forward and take a vote on both, or you wanna hold off and come back.
Generally speaking, it is, as Phil pointed out, it's not our job to redesign your project.
Right.
You should bring the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
And it'll be just, you'll get some input from the public. It's partly because it's on Warren Street, that it is subject to more scrutiny than it might be on another street. And we'll get input from the public. We don't necessarily have to take it. But that way, everybody knows that this discussion has been had
Right.
and there's some kind of agreement on how it should turn out. That's really what it's about. It's not really about the details of your design.
You can call it right. I don't have the exact date in my head, but it's essentially the next Friday meeting is April 26th.
Okay. All right, great, so we'll regroup.
I'm seeing that,
And
yeah,
and
and
the voting happens right at the beginning.
if you have additional questions or concerns, obviously you've been working with Craig. You can also call me or email me.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you very much for what you're doing. What do we got, Jan? 313 Union?
Next up is 225 Union Street.
Yeah, that's me too.
Where are you?
So another stoop, 225 Union Street. So if you scroll down, you'll see the existing condition.
Okay.
Sorry, Jan, I don't see it on the agenda.
I think it was a later ad.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Do you have it?
You're going.
Okay, just hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, 225 Union, replace front stoop.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you scroll down one? There we go.
Yeah.
So this is the existing condition. This is the existing stoop on this house is painted concrete. This photo was taken, it said asphalt paving on the sidewalk in front of the house. This was recently replaced with concrete. So we want to remove this existing stoop and then scroll up to the next picture. We replace it with a wood stoop, which essentially replicates the detailing of the stoop at, I think it's 3436 South Fifth Street, the one right next to the Apartments of Distinction building. So this would be painted wood, no railing, with, this kind of grill on the side. And basically it's a 3-step stoop that goes straight down.
That picture in the design intent, that's the 336, like, that's what.
No, but that is, I think it's 3436 north or south Fifth.
Right,
That's
that's
the
in
address.
501 Union, at the corner of Union.
Is that just an address plaque on the lot?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and I believe, yes, the answer is
Oh,
yes.
that's like an historic building.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a railing for that?
Because it's only 3 steps, it doesn't.
How's the height? From grade?
It's 24. Yeah, it's 3 big acres.
Code is 30 inches or 4 steps. None of the curve requirement.
The width is the width of that current stoop. Right, you're showing us one of the double
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, I mean, it's, well, you can see there's the door there, so it's like slightly wider than the framing of the trim on the door. Plan, 4 feet 10 inches plus or minus for the steps themselves.
And that is indicated 24 inches.
Kim?
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to find the application complete. Anyone, Hugh and John, all in favor? Motion to waive the public hearing and request the city attorney to proceed today. That's Kim and Hugh, all in favor? Done.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Meyer, 330. 330 Union Street.
Hey, Peter. Morning.
Good morning.
I wish I had stooped off. Whoa. This is, you have, yeah, good. Back porch. If you go right to the end, you'll see why we want a back porch replaced. Some of these pictures. Although I argued for keeping this thing.
It looks great. I
You know, right, my preservation is at heart. Someplace to tie my bike up, someplace to put the old bell. So Bill Eagle has done the drawings and you can see more specs than I can comprehend. But the best, if you go approximately page 11, I'm sorry, there you go. So this is it. We're doing a street revival with 1890s Victorian redo. So it's hard to tell when this was a sleeping porch at one time, you know, and it's closed in. And then this was a back porch too. And that's been closed in probably in the 1890s. So in any case, what we're replacing is probably something made in the 1920s or 30s. And this is probably what we're replacing it with is closer to the Greek revival that we want the house to kind of be. And it's pretty straightforward. Bill's a great carpenter. Walter Garcia is doing all the masonry work. So we're tearing all of that down. It's all falling down brick to get to the basement. This is the stairs heading down to the basement and probably replacing all that so that it's workable. And
What are the materials you're using on the?
Craig probably knows better than I. I mean, it's all foundation footing. We've got a whole foundation specs through there.
Got it.
Poured concrete, rebar and four reinforced diameter placed continuously on chairs in a horizontal orientation. This is not my concrete block wall, which is using 8 by 12 by 16-inch concrete blocks, later blocks and mortar with steel rebar, half-inch diameter, et cetera, et cetera.
And this all faces the backyard?
Faces backyards. And it's, in fact, now that we have our fence up, that stays up, you can't see most of this from the alley. Probably just the top, just the roof part. Railings, you know, the specs, you've got a
Is
door.
the Bilco door part of that?
The doors part is in the, from Harrington's, of all the specs in the door. And that's in this thing too. Craig's looked at.
What happened with this, just FYI, you really can't see the porch at all. Triggered the application deals with that overhead protection is new. So that's really what's,
Yeah.
Other was bigger place like for like.
the old, yeah, the porch is pretty much wood with cement block foundation
Yeah.
supports. But the overhead is all brand new.
And that door's there.
The porch is different. The porch, I mean, the existing porch is
And it looks like,
Torn down too.
it looks like you picked up the notes, like the same details on the posts and the crown of the new.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
No,
great.
Bill's a great architectural historian of this house.
These drawings are cool, however they did the 3D foundation, that's very, yeah, that's great.
And Walter Garcia knows his stuff.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
commissioners, any more comments? Motion to find the application complete. That is Kim and you. Motion to waive the public hearing, request the city attorney to declare C of A. John and Miranda, all in favor, are there any opposed? You done?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up is 313 Union Street.
315.
Yeah, we're,
Hi.
hi, I don't know.
Yep, that's good. Hello.
Hey, can you hear us?
Yes, we can. Would you like to share your screen or would you like me to share? I have several documents that you sent, so.
This is 313.
It might be easier if I share on my side.
Is it 315 or are you 315 or 313?
313.
313. I'm sorry, Lester? Would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it here. If, are you seeing that?
Yes,
The PDF? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So this is currently what our front looks like. We were in a few months ago to get the back of our like our rear plans for the house and the demo approved. But we needed to work out some of the details on the front here as well as our siding. So these are the plans here to just have an entryway here and sort of like a garden area next to it. As far as the scope of work, the plan is for all wood, wood columns, tongue and groove fir, which is what's on there right now. And then it'll be a single stair, also wood, and then asphalt shingles for the roof. And we have just some sort of details, designs here that are from our street and a couple neighboring streets. Columns here, asphalt shingles. The window trim, where we want to do just a simple design for the front at the top of the trim. And as far as color goes, the plan is like a mid-toned green or like a grayish green. And then the second piece is that we have wood siding. We have vinyl right now, and then we found out there's asbestos under that, asbestos-based siding, and then we have wood. So we'd hoped to be able to pull up some of the vinyl and kind of see what the condition of the wood was. But with the asbestos-based siding, we're going to have to pull the vinyl off and then have that abated. And then at that point, make a decision. Our hope is to restore the original wood siding. If we need to completely reside the front and side of the house, then our plan is to do a composite siding like Hardy, sort of similar to the way that the Maker looks. And then as far as windows, we're going to replace the storm windows with single light wood framed windows. The trim, we'll have to see how that looks, but that would be, if we need to restore or replace it, that would be wood. And then all the original glass windows are going to stay, with the exception of this second floor bathroom window. We have it here as a view from the interior and exterior. It's in our shower here, and we put plexiglass over it as like a temporary fix, but you know, there's water that can get in at the bottom. It's not insulated at all. So our plan is to re-side over basically the bottom 2/3 and then have a window here at the top third. You can see here, that window is probably like 30 feet back from the street here. And so those are the plans. These are a couple, this street, this house here, 312 Union is across the street. These are just sort of what we took inspiration from for having like a front entryway and a garden next to it.
I didn't see a spec for the window on the drawings. Did I just miss that?
No, the plan is for just like a awning style, like black vinyl window to go in there.
I think we would just need the specs to go in the package, right?
We do.
Okay.
No problem, we'll get it added.
Also, the board, is it okay for vinyl because it's not visible from the road?
It's up to the applicant what they want to propose. We have, depends on where it's located and the visibility of it and what the rest of the windows look like. We haven't really jumped enthusiastically on vinyl. If you've got wood windows or other material in the rest of the house.
They're wood windows.
To add vinyl, you're just saying.
Is this vinyl for vinyl?
No, he's taking out.
Not for the window, but because it's in the bath, we're facing issues with rot.
Oh, so you
Just
want to replace that window with a vinyl window, is that right?
Only that window. Every other window will remain wood.
Because it's in the shower and we need to, there's just no other way to remedy that.
Okay.
So, are you asking for replacement, approval to restore the siding, or are you asking for replacement to Hardy Road?
Sorry, what was that?
Hardy Road.
The question has to do with, there's kind of a inflection or decision point, which you mentioned, just trying to understand that. When you take off the existing siding, you take a look at asbestos, whatever is underneath, you have to make some decisions about whether you can remediate it by putting back basically like for like same siding, or whether in fact you have to introduce new material and hardy plank the whole thing. And it wasn't clear how that's gonna roll.
So it's a
What-
two-part path. If the wood is
Okay.
salvageable and has, some replacement or some cleanup that needs to be done, our first choice is to stay with wood, and that's our preference. If it is not salvageable based on the condition, then we'd like the approval to immediately be able to pivot to hardy and not slow our process, given that hardy is kind of commensurate with the neighborhood.
But we don't have a spec for what that, I mean, there's all different sizes, there's different, some of them have a wood grain.
We would also need to see the underlying condition.
Yeah.
It would mirror what is under there now, which is the vinyl that's on there now is the same size. The wood looks like the vinyl that's on there now. So the hardy would mirror that.
So this is just on one section. I'm not clear now. How much of the underlayment do you have to expose?
We're pulling off all of the siding on the front and on the side of the house.
Which is currently
all vinyl. It's all vinyl and all with an asbestos-based siding underneath it.
So you take, okay. I don't know if that helps or hinders.
So just for, I think we have the information to.
Well, but hang on just one second. So just for clarity's sake, you want to take off the vinyl, expose the asbestos, see whether you're going to be able to abate the asbestos and salvage the siding that's under it. If you're not able to salvage the siding under it, you would like to replace it with hardy board. Is that did I understand?
Yes.
Okay.
And our preference is
So-
wood, and certainly understanding that we'll need to replace boards. But if it's just complete, if it needs to be fully re-sided, if that's what the decision we have to make, then we'd like to do hardy, considering we're going to spend all the time and money re-siding it, like the maintenance would be, easier with that.
So I would
Is
say,
there a
I would,
process to see what's underneath? Like when you remove the sign, you come back to us?
Can you do it on a sample basis and take out smaller amounts of material so you could come back to us with that decision in mind, or do you need to take it all off?
It will be all taken off at once. I think our hope was to not slow our progress. I think time is money, right? So we're sort of in a bit of a challenge there. We did remove about 2-foot by 5-foot section and look underneath, and the wood looked good there. But this home has been very poorly cared for. So I'm not sure if other sections will be, in a similar state.
So Miranda was correct. The wood siding, presumably original or close to original wood siding, is actually underneath the asbestos.
Correct.
Yeah, as far as we,
Sorry. They're taking off the vinyl, they're taking off the asbestos, so if the wood is replaceable, they'll replace it, otherwise they're gonna replace it with party board.
I understand.
That matches as closer to a.
So keep on going. We could do this as a contingency, depending on the conditions of the original wood siding.
I would say like.
They would repair the wood if it is, not logically salvageable. Right, we would give them approval on hardy. There's Miranda's question that there's hardy, there's smooth. There's a question of the width and size of the boards and so on, so we need something to go with on that.
And who determines how far wood, is it the contractor that determines the condition of the wood, the original?
I'm assuming.
Question.
Craig?
In the past, we've done this where we've given them a partial C of A to remove all the siding. And then come back and
complete.
And either at that point, they can propose something new, or it can be restored without coming back.
Right.
But that would be.
Assuming that there's also no details. The other thing that happens is if there's details exposed, your letter, your C of A says if details are exposed, they have to return.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's architectural details that you uncover when you remove the 2 layers of vinyl and asbestos. That generally those details, window trim, et cetera, are historic and those have to be left in place.
What the commission is saying is we can go ahead and prepare a C of A to approve the removal.
we've already gotten that approved last time we were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying, we're gonna have scaffolding up over the entire house. Our preference would be not to, if we have to put hardy up, if we have to completely reside, the preference would be not to have to then wait, come back, wait for the approval again, and that's a month and a half that will kind of be in limbo on the project.
Would be 2 weeks, right?
Where do you get a month?
Well, because they're only every 2 weeks, right? And then you have to approve them.
Yeah, but I think we can make, well, all right, a month is fair enough.
Take it down in the next 2 weeks, we can talk about it in 2 weeks.
If you take it down in the next 2 weeks, we can talk about it in 2 weeks, and we have, in very rare instances, been able to grant, especially given that we're the stage of this project, we've been able to even produce Cs of A very quickly.
Correct, in real time.
Mhm.
And we are
The
missing.
the project isn't starting.
If you have approval on the demo, then what we're proposing is you go ahead with the demo and come back to us with your actual thought on how you're gonna finish the building.
And we will expedite it for you.
Great.
And it's also needed for the inspector to know what kind of siding is approved for the building.
And the detailing.
So we need the siding, we need the roofing, we need the window. Those
Great.
three
We'll
things.
come back. May is when our demo starts. I think more importantly, can we move forward to potentially getting approval for the change of the front of the home, right? It's the full porch now. We'd like to at least align on the design that's been drawn so that we can at least be working towards that goal.
Okay, so this is separate from the siding issue. We're just talking porch.
Yes.
I think we have a couple of things that require approval, and if siding needs to be a quick movement after it's been removed, that's fine, but we're really looking to get as much approved up front as we're really not in a position to have a prolonged construction project.
I understand. Could you go back through the porch detail one more time, please?
Is this possible to make it bigger?
You're large, yeah. There you go.
Okay, just go through that one more time, just the porch.
So this is currently what we have, this full porch. What we would like to do is this entryway with a garden area next to it. It's a gable style, it's all wood, tongue and groove fir for the decking. And then asphalt shingles for the roof.
Are there any historic photos of the building?
No.
We've searched tremendously, spent hours in the library. There are no historic photos of this home.
Here's a great example, right? This looks good. I don't, it looks, I'm sure we would consider it appropriate. But when you remove the siding, you may find ghosts that tell you exactly what the original porch looks like, and we'd be really interested in that. So I guess we can prove this with a big fat asterisk, which is show us what's under the siding.
Okay.
I think you're probably right? It probably was something along this line. It probably was not, given the asymmetry of the first floor windows, it's probably not that full porch, I think, right?
Well, also just looking at the construction of the porch,
Yeah,
it's not.
So this is probably the right direction, but that's why we were talking about looking underneath and looking at the original before you pull up the original wood to see what this house looks like before.
And certainly appreciate that. We're very keen to kind of keep the spirit of the home intact as much as possible. But additionally, this is a design that we'd like to move forward with as a preference regardless. It is very dark in the first floor because of that full porch. And so we're hoping to also create a better experience for our renter who lives down there to kind of have a lighter, more, nicer space. So yes, we're keen to follow the history, but at the same time, I think this design is something we really love and is in alignment with many other homes in the neighborhood.
No one is questioning that. They're just saying that there is a process of discovery sometimes, and we need to put a contingency in around that.
Sounds good.
So the contingency though would mean that they can't actually start anything until they come back.
I'm not sure. If we're comfortable and have a bit of faith that what we're talking about is just the porch and we're talking about historic detail, then it's possible to approve the porch contingent on obviously them coming back during the historic detail or any other changes.
I agree that we can trust the homeowner here. What we would respectfully request is when the siding on the front is removed and the wood exposed to the porch, that you document, and the porch removed, that you document what's under there. If anything, right, on removal, and that if there is nothing there that would alter the design that you proposed to us, then you'd be approved to move ahead. If there is anything there, then we would respectfully require that you return to us so that we can work on that with you.
Certainly.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, so this is now defined as the porch area only. And we're asking for a motion to find the application complete.
Is it potentially inside siding?
No, it is the porch area only. With the contingency that John stated, that whatever discoveries come up in the process of pulling that off, if their historic detail was preserved, and you come talk to us about it, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion to find the application complete with those contingencies.
Yes.
Motion to ask the city attorney to prepare a C of A with those contingencies. Approved. Thank you.
Okay,
So wait.
thank you.
So, is part of the
The
siding?
window is part of that, I believe, that solution. I'm not sure whether, it's just a porch area.
We didn't have to spec.
We just need the spec, that's all, yeah.
Could you shoot us the specs on that window?
I have to put a quarter.
Well, so we can come back with that. I mean, our plan was for, like a 30 by 14 window there, black. Sorry, I can share this again.
Whatever you planned. But we need the specs in the file.
Just the manufacturer's spec sheet.
It's gonna have to be a custom size just because of the window shape as it is right now.
Just send it to us when you've decided on the size and you have a tear sheet on the window.
Okay, got it.
So, just for clarity for the record, did the commission approve the removal, and asbestos remediation?
No.
Apparently, they said they already have a CBA.
You already have it.
Oh, they already have that?
Yes, that's been done.
So we'll be back once that comes down and we can ideally get it expedited so we can move forward.
Yeah, we'll vote on the porch C of A at the next meeting, and I don't think there'll be any concerns. You'll have that.
And at that
Okay.
point, you should still bring the specs on the window, so we can
Please.
include that.
We can put it in the C of A.
For the next meeting, bring those?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
You're doing a beautiful thing.
Where is
Yes.
Jan?
Jan, what's the next one you got?
Next up, we have
Can-
4, 5, 6.
Can we move 11 South Second? That's
Yes, we can move
gonna be
to
a
11
couple
South Second.
minutes of anything.
Yep.
At 456 on mine.
That's all right.
For new construction, I think.
Okay. Do we have someone here to speak for 11 South Second Street?
Yes, my name is Warren Elkmont.
Morning.
I'm requesting to take down some chimneys. 3 of them are non-usable. There's nothing being used in them. They're very, I had sent these pictures.
Yep, I'll bring that over, Brian.
This first picture is the one that we're gonna rebuild. So we're requesting to take down and rebuild to this roof line.
Okay, is this the right one, sir?
Yeah. Now that picture shows of one that was capped off over on Union Street. That's what I want to do with the 3 that are not being used. They're cracked, they're rotten. If you look at the pictures, they all look, somebody's tried to repair them. They're non-usable. So I would cap them off right at the roof line. That's all rubber roofing. I submitted to properties, as you can see in the picture here, it's cracked all the way down through. They're getting water inside, they freeze, they thaw, they freeze, they implode, they're letting water in the house. That's the view from Second Street. You're looking off Warren Street in Second. You don't see them. There's one you do see, and that's one right here. So we're gonna take that down and cap that off. We're requesting to do that. If you want to go back up, that's fine too. These are both on the back of the alley. They're not facing the street. This is from Union Street looking over. That's the chimney I want to take down and rebuild. She's used it. And basically, that's it. I showed the properties that I'm going to use, the brick, the copper, I use copper rivets.
So there's 4 chimneys, you're taking down 3 and rebuilding 1.
One, because the other 3 are not even being used, they're just dead. This is the mortar, S-type mortar. I put a bonding agent in it. So the water can't permeate the mortar anymore or the wash. As I was saying, this is that's from the alley. That's the 2, I cap off right to that rubber with copper and a piece of bluestone on top. Well, that's still the chimneys. But,
Is there,
there's only one that really is being used. The other three are dead. So if we could cap them off at the roof line, that would eliminate the problem of any more water deterioration or penetration in the home. And so that's what we're requesting to do. I use 16 gauge copper, which is very bendable, durable. I rivet everything together. It cannot ever come apart unless it's taken apart. And basically, that's what I'm asking to do. There's going to be no scaffolding. Only time there'll be a trailer there is when I tear it down and I have to come down through the building. That's 3 stories. That's a lot of work. And then you got to bring all that stuff back up there. I have no problem building them back up if that's what you request to do. Personally, I think they need to come down, be capped off, because they're never going to get used. They'll be usable if somebody was to buy the home. It could be uncapped and rebuilt back up and used if somebody wanted to. The house was built in 1967, supposedly. That's what the homeowner,
1867.
the homeowner went to the library or whatever, and that's what she come up with.
What year is it?
1967.
19?
I mean, I'm 1860, now she said 1960.
Yeah, so it's been there long.
And-
So in any event, I don't know, but this is what I'm requesting to do. You see the chimneys are rotten. They should be repaired. 3 of them are not being used.
We don't really see them from the street line. They're not like present at the
What's
facade.
that, ma'am?
We don't really see them from the street.
No, it's only from the alley. Well, you do catch that top one. Yeah, from the corner street.
I can understand the wanting to do this. They are big leaking points in the house. They're not.
I mean, you're still having water get in there even while we're speaking, even though it's, because it's permeated. So that's what I'm asking to do. I was in the union 36 years in Albany. I worked on the Capitol. I worked on the governor's mansion. Multiple things, so.
But these are really prominent chimneys, and they are, they're not really visible. So.
For weatherization, I can understand wanting to do this, and it's not, like, it doesn't make the architecture for us.
Right.
In truth, when they are visible, we have, whether they're usable or not,
Yes.
we have in the past,
Of course,
We have,
encouraged their retention.
yes.
This seems to be a different case,
Yeah.
given the nature of the roof and the visibility.
Yeah, I just did rebuild them last year in my house.
There you go.
But they're much more visible on my house.
all right, so understanding the
Motion to find the application complete. You and John, all in favor, motion to waive public hearing.
Question, just confirming that the chimney of the building is exactly the same, right? That's
Well,
what-
man, I put a picture in there.
Okay, so we have specs in 20.
Yes, we have specs on the chimney and materials as well, and a drawing.
Well, I do have a picture of one that gives you an example of what it's gonna look
It's in the
like.
file.
Made a motion to waive a public hearing, request city attorney, Prayer CFA, Kim and Miranda. All in favor, any opposed, none, you're approved.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Great,
Beautiful.
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is my next?
The process is that, at the next meeting, which is, 2 weeks from today, we have the certificate, the actual certificate from, the city attorney, and we vote and we approve that. That piece of paper goes to Craig, it gets posted, it goes to you, and that's your green light.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, Greg. I
Thank you very
Thank
much.
hope to hear from you.
456 Union Street.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Crystal.
Good morning. How is everybody? It's nice to be back here. Although I missed the platform.
Which document would you like to start with?
Probably just the front one, and if we could zoom in on the top, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I need the document.
This is just for the commissions. Reminder, this is the new build on Sherry Alley. Is there a document that you would like me to share first?
Do you have the?
I have, this is the new signature that I received.
Okay, how about the,
Is that?
So we were gonna ask anyone some questions and comments about this proposed residential structure on the back of the property, which will have a garage on the lower level and an apartment on the upper level. First and foremost, you all had some concerns about the cantilever. We did not get rid of the cantilever. The difference between the space in the apartment without the cantilever is the difference between a full kitchen and a kitchenette. And the full kitchen is something that's super important. To that end, it sort of ties together the kind of the whys behind some of this. Another question arose about the solar screen, which is wood slats. We can get into that in a little bit. But that the staircase is on the outside of the house. At some point, the applicants envisioned their aging parents to move in, and their architect indicated that it would be easier to put in an elevator if they did the stairs outside than inside. So all of this goes to eventually, it will be short-term lodging or term rentals to begin with. There's an anticipation that aging parents will come, and this will be a place where they can live close to their children and have their children provide them with a level that is oversight is not here. We did listen to the windows. The windows have been changed. The windows and the molding now match the house. I will say A203 shows the house, and not all of the windows in that rendering are correct. These do align with the home.
Which, I'm sorry, should we be looking at A201?
Yeah, A201, but if you go to A203 quickly, you just see that the windows in that rendering aren't actually what exists. What exists matches what's being proposed. And then there was a question again the last time about the solar screen. Those are just going to be wood slats. The wood has not yet, the type of wood has not yet been determined, but if you need a determination on that.
It's just on the exterior stairs.
Yes, yeah. That's it there.
So wait, just to be clear, the idea is that you put an elevator or the.
Eventually.
So, so not now, this would be like probably 8 to 10 years down the road, if at all. But just in case there was a question as to why the staircase is on the exterior.
I see.
But I was asking if the elevator would also be. It would have, it would eventually be like stairs taken out, elevator placed in front of where they are. That's not what we're asking.
Yeah, that changes down the road. Clearly, we have to come back, but just to give you an idea of the importance of the size of this, why we didn't go with a cantilever, there's an expectation that at some point in the future, the parents could move into this.
Okay. That's not what we're finding with this.
Understood.
So I would say this, thank you for the windows, this looks much more appropriate. The solar screen seems fine to me, and the exterior stairs happen all the time. Let's talk about the cantilever. So is there no way to extend the building further into your own property so that you get the foot over there? It's the awkwardness of the cantilever is what I think is consuming the commission. Or
Most of the commission.
many members of the commission, or maybe just me. So like, if all revenue has been exhausted on the cantilever to get that, I assume it's the reason you can't have a full kitchen because the space is too small?
Yes, basically right now, the living room and bedroom is only 13 feet wide. So we really couldn't we could fit a queen bed and 2 nightstands. So we really can't cut the 2 feet of the cantilever into that space. You could only take it off of the bathroom and kitchen, which are aligned. So there's really nowhere to take it. If we added it in the backyard, you're essentially adding dimension, adding length to the long dimension of the house.
Because it's basically just like 4 rooms is a little grid. So you have a super skinny and super long bathroom and a super skinny and super long kitchen. What we're trying to do is add appliances along the, yeah, so there's one of the.
And you can't rework the interior, so you can move the room through?
So this really needs to be the entrance right here. This really needs to be the entry right here based on having stairs accessible from the alley. So we basically be extending this in this direction. I mean, now you're putting like a bathroom in the only sort of view of the front of the house, which really, these are the important rooms because that's what looks out, has light and, you know, the alley there. I think like if the cantilever is like just really a make or break, we would prefer to build a gate or build some kind of facade there that still, I mean, we're still expected to use that side to like access the backyard. So we would put a gate to make it sort of visually look like there's no cantilever, but the cantilever would still be there. So I think it's just, the question is does it make sense to have like a faux gate that visually extends the front? Yeah, we could go to. So does it, like right now we have just a little sort of half gate. We would be open to putting a full-size gate that extends the look of the house. I don't know if that looks good or if that looks kind of awkward, because it would have hinges. I mean, it would be a door, it would be a skinny door, a 2-feet door.
But its only purpose in reality is to hide the cantilever.
Correct.
John, tell me more about the cantilever. Why is it so?
I mean, the cantilever, it creates an asymmetry to the house, but not, we know it's not an intentional design asymmetry, it's to fit the bed.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's going to be noticeable, there's no precedent for it, it's not the way architectural, it's not the way the buildings of Hudson are for the most part designed. And I would, you know, it is, I think it was concerning to other commissioners. I don't really think I spoke on it last time because others did. So I'm speaking on it this time. One voice on the commission, there are 5 members.
John, what do you think of the remedy they're talking about, which is basically?
A gate, I mean, a full-size gate is gonna, I mean, it's gonna be just a full-size gate on a cantilever building, right? You're not gonna make one part of it look like a slab.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you really wanted to visually look like the wall just extends straight down, hides the overhang, we could put, I mean, we can make a custom gate that is literally only, it's the full height and only half the width of the real gate. But it would still be a gate, it would be a door. It would just look like, we could make it with the siding extends, but I think when you still have this framing on the outside, so it would almost just be like this 2-foot little party board wall that has a little, maybe has hinges, has a door. I don't know that that's a better improvement.
I mean, the truth is that even though here's the truth. Even though the windows are remedied and they're lovely, and actually the design is great, that distorts the whole thing. Now, the windows are not centered, and you know, you win the victory on your kitchen, but I think you're losing the war on your addition. And I hope, I think that sounds much sterner than I mean it. It's prominent. Everyone knows exactly where this is. Everyone's going to see it. And also new construction is important to us, right? It's a very small, very historic town. So we probably take a greater scrutiny when we look at stuff that's being built from scratch. So that's why it's getting this much pushback.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I understand, because unfortunately I missed the first meeting when this was discussed, but it's not possible for you to enlarge the ground floor of this building.
Yeah, so there is my neighbor's carriage house is against the lot line. So the foundation is limited to, so they can access, so this side, because there's the external staircase, they can build the foundation within our footprint. On this side, they cannot get any closer because there is a building right up against our lot line. So while we can extend above the floor level, we cannot extend at the ground level. Otherwise, we absolutely would have
So
done
you
that.
need a variance for this, right?
We're in front of the ZBA.
Yeah.
We have our second appearance, set for a public hearing on Wednesday of next week.
And did you get any feedback from them?
They were, everything was pretty agreeable. I think it will probably pass without any issues, no request for additional information or documentation. And they pass these routinely. I think the code requires 15-foot setbacks with a 30-foot wide lot, which I guess most people without going to ZBA could put a fence.
Well, I mean, I think it just goes to show that I think you're doing a lot, like you're doing more than.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same footprint as what's next to us, the big green behind Old Hudson. So visually, it will just match. It's not larger than what the sort of historic carriage house that's right there.
On the cantilever side, we have a 1 foot, 2.5 inches of the side yard setback. That gives you an indication of how much more we have to play with.
I have a weird question. Did you explore possibly, like, I understand the kitchen is a dimension that's a whole, I understand the bed with the side tables as a whole. Have you considered taking the bed and the bath and staggering it back behind the stair that's already taking up mass that's on the outside of the building? Taking away the weight on the upper left, is that a possibility?
Sorry, do you mean like the cantilever itself?
Yeah,
So there's a cantilever in the back as well. So the cantilever wraps on
I'm not
the east side and on the south side of the.
So what I'm saying is, if you took this part, the bedroom and the bathroom, and you were able to shift it over behind the stair, which is already a mess, and you lose the cantilever here, I'm just trying to think of some of the points that have been made about having it be more symmetrical. The stair's gonna make it asymmetrical, right? And that's already a mass. Like, I don't know how to explain
So are you
it.
suggesting moving the kitchen to where the bedroom is?
No.
Because we could potentially, I actually don't know if we can extend. So that would go so that would add a cantilever behind the staircase, which would be visually not noticeable from the street, because the staircase is there. But all that would serve would be to extend the bathroom footprint.
How wide is the cantilever?
2 feet.
So how come you can't just move the kitchen in 2 feet? I mean,
So we can cut the kitchen off by 2 feet, and then literally it's the whole wall of appliances that you see, like the shelf. So right now it's an L-shaped kitchen, right? Along the west wall.
it looks like
all
you lose one cabinet.
We lose the full, we lose 2 feet, which is appliances, cabinets. It basically becomes like a little burner. It just becomes one wall of kitchen.
And I'm not sure if you push that bathroom out back, if the landing at the top of that stairs would then be code.
Yeah, you would have to get pushed forward a little bit. I mean, the landing's generous with the 5 feet and the setback from the front of the building. I mean, I'm not trying to solve for it. I'm just asking if it was looked at that way or to get away from the cantilever.
We originally didn't have the cantilever because that was also not our preference visually. But when we realized that it really restricts the functionality because you have essentially a mini fridge, a little burner, a little sink. It's just not something that people would want to live in permanently. And so we made the decision. I agree. The cantilever is not my preference visually at all. But we decided that for functionality, for longer term functionality, that it was worth a worthy sacrifice, so we did the whole kitchen.
Well, you're looking at the building and you have the stairs on one side, you have the cantilever on the other side. The stair mass already makes the building asymmetrical. Having this overhang to me is not a big deal. It's not, classic design, but I don't think it really is. Also, once it's built, you're not gonna see it. It's just, you're looking at it in a plan drawing.
Yeah.
So it's all you see. But when it's actually built and there's foliage, there's life around it, to me, it's a fun, it's an okay design.
No, and I think you're right. I think I was just taking some notes and trying to think if there was another way to solve it, but I agree with you that the stair.
I think we're overthinking it. You know, you have stairs, you're not gonna see it. We see it here, but it's not gonna be in life. There's a mass on the street.
So I completely disagree. We see stairs all the time adjacent to buildings. It's completely normal. The stairs don't even register when you look at this.
I don't think.
This is gonna register because you don't see asymmetrical buildings with different sized upper registries from the down. And I think it's good, and you also don't see windows centered in a building they're now off center, which you did at our request, right? But the assumption was also that the cantilever would be there, this will all be of a piece.
Two things, to mention. So this is, I don't think this is that important, but it is worth noting. There's a power line pole right there. And so right now, visually, like a lot of this stuff is cut off. It's still a cantilever. I'm not opposed to, like, we put the 4 windows there for the symmetry comment, and also we thought this was so prominent, the garage, that we would align it over that. We have no problem adding a 5th or spacing the 4 out if you think that visually it minimizes the cantilever. I just thought that it was very sort of within the same footprint of the garage. That line was important, but we're not married to the windows being in that orientation.
I feel strongly about it, as you can tell. I really appreciate how sensitive you're being to try to accomplish your goals and work with us. So please don't mistake my passion for the elimination of the cantilever for disregard of your project. So,
The cantilever, I would love it, trust me, if I could add the 2 feet there, that would be what we do. It's just not, we have to have that extra 2 feet inside because of the kitchen functionality. So we're really open to like hiding this. I'm just not sure what the less awkward way to hide it is.
Maybe a screening with some sort of vegetation.
Yeah. So the thing is we still have to use that.
Right.
I mean, we would like to use that versus having to open everyone uses their alleys like they're the front doors, especially given that Warren Street is, to access Warren Street, we go to the Cherry Alley.
all right. Is there the stairs cannot be moved either to the back or entered from the back. There's no way to mimic the cantilever on the other side, right?
Oh, I see.
Like make the second floor even larger.
Well, so, I mean, visually, okay, so, well, we cannot bring this.
Like if the stairs were on the back, then this would be cement, then you would enlarge it by 2 feet on the, or even better, a foot on each side.
Yeah.
And then you would have a slightly larger, and then you could have an ornamental mullion, it wouldn't be that noticeable.
So the stairs aren't gonna go on the back because we are intending to use this for at least probably 8 years or so as short-term rental. And that's how we're gonna hopefully pay for this. So this is, we would ideally like to have something that a guest, an eventual permanent, my parents eventually will live here, have their own access to the street versus just going to them.
I know I'm exhausting you. What about this? So the stairs go up, right? But at first they're low. Is there any way to put a smaller element on the right side?
To visually give it that same.
Like this and then this, even if it doesn't go back to the depth of the house, right? In truth, it's a slightly more awkward plan, but from the front, it would look much more.
Yeah, well, so
In other words,
right
could you
now,
walk-
possibly, so right now, this is just the angled roof of the stairs.
Yeah, but it's set back.
I mean, it will start right at the facade, right at the front of the building, but then it angles up and yes.
On the elevation, it starts halfway, it starts back.
Oh, right, well, so we did that because this is right up to Cherry Alley. And so you don't want to get someone to step down and they're like literally standing in the roadway.
Oh, they're not serious.
It's like,
Is there room to balance out the cantilever on the right side with either a decorative element or a actual piece of,
yeah.
like, a something that sticks out, like, is there room?
Lights over there as well. I think would be-
That's the right way to power lines.
Well, also, it might be
But
part of
there's
our-
so much stuff there. We're just, again, we're just looking at a line drawing. There's a phone pole, there's, there's two color, there's two poles, there's color, there's another building.
There's a photo.
It's a lot of stuff. You're not gonna see it. That's not how your eye works. Having been a designer.
Yeah, the first one right
Doesn't
here.
work.
Oh.
Really, just like, it's gonna be, you won't notice it. You won't notice it. Tell you that right now.
I like when you can sit together.
No, it's working very well.
So,
I actually don't understand the problem. It's one element in what's actually a very cool design, and very cool solution. Why is this the overarching element?
I don't. This was not in the last meeting, I didn't even speak on it, right? Others were making this point.
They're not.
To me, it's very clear. I understand. So you could take a vote and vote against me and the cantilever will prevail.
We're not.
I'm just trying to find something. I'm voting against the cantilever. So, and
I don't think.
please don't take any of this personally. And
I don't.
See all that's going on around the
hey, John,
then it may be a
I think we should move on. You made it extremely clear how well you thought this through. You made it extremely clear the complexity of what's going on outside the building and the constraints. And you made it extremely clear that where you collaborated with the commission. I would like to vote. And you got a nice letter from Margaret Morris. I live at 458. My neighbors are, no, they said she's really pleased with the plan. So that's a good thing. Motion to find the application complete. Yes. Second, Phil, all in favor? Motion to waive a public hearing and request the city attorney to prepare a C of A. You and, Kim? All in favor?
yes.
Any opposed?
I propose.
The ayes have it. You're in there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good discussion.
I appreciate your. If I could have gotten it right, I would have preferred to as well. Trust me.
I think you'll find a way for some greenery.
Oh, yeah, you sorry are.
Put a window box on the side and let it break
Love
down.
that, yes.
Anything else?
Yes.
Walter.
We have 31 Allen Street. Walter Chatham,
Still here.
hi.
Hi, everybody.
You've been in
Watch
limbo.
out, here's in the mood today.
You've been in limbo long enough.
This was fascinating and I held my tongue. So,
Okay,
all right,
I'm
so
going to-
Jan, I've now figured out how to share my screen if that would be more convenient.
That would be perfect.
Okay,
If I still have a quorum.
If there's a nay vote, we can't put it in consideration.
Phil, how'd you get in?
We need 4 out of 7.
Would you like to share your screen, Walter?
is it there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, boy. Great.
Oh, great, there's the French doors.
Okay. Walter?
Yes, okay, thank you, everybody. So, just as a reminder, last time, there were questions specifically about the chimney, the roof, the windows, and I believe the doors on the back of the building. Someone also from the public raised a question about what the intention was at the entry. So I'll very quickly go through my responses and then you guys can ask any questions if that's okay. So the first thing I want to say is that a lot of my documentation for a house like this comes off of Google Earth. So I apologize. I misidentified the roof because the roof was recently replaced by the previous owner. And it is, and Craig showed me this, it was done through HPC, so you all approved this. It's a timberline weathered wood roof on the sloped portions, and then you have a modified rubber roofing on the so-called flat portions. So we are basically saying that we're going to retain the existing timberline roofing and repair it in the areas that we need to do that. At the area where we're going to raise the roof at the back, we just replace in kind. You can't really see this roof anywhere from the ground anyway. The next question was the chimney. Now, again, at the time this Google Earth photograph was taken, there was an existing chimney there. You can see it was strapped. That chimney was gone when the present owner bought the house. And we are proposing, there must have been two chimneys, a chimney here and a chimney on the back side. We're proposing adding the chimney back on the back side, but leaving this chimney that's shown in the photograph out because we're not putting a fireplace there. So we would match the new chimney exactly to this existing brick chimney or previously existing brick chimney, forgive me, same height, same proportions, etc. Then the question about the windows, we're going to replace only the windows that have to be replaced. Our general practice has been to keep the existing windows on the fronts of the houses if we can and go to the energy windows on the side. So we would replace side windows where appropriate with double hung Marvins to match the windows on the house. These, but you know, where appropriate with a vertical divider. And then the back doors would be similar. They'd be the glass Marvin terrace doors with the wood frames, but those would not have mullions. Those would be
Single pane?
yeah, just big sheets of glass, correct. Sorry, here they are. For those, so you can see there are the double hung windows, 2/2, the single pane glass doors. Then we have up here the, again, single pane dormers. And then while we're on this page, somebody from the public asked a question about this. This isn't really detailed because we plan to keep the existing entry as it is. Sorry, I thought I had a photograph here. Maybe not. All right. I guess in my last presentation. Yeah, go ahead. Do I stop sharing?
Stop sharing and I can share. You'll just need to tell me what page I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing. Let's close that.
I'm told the share button is on the upper right of the screen next to leave the meeting.
So I see open share tray. Am I still sharing or I'm not?
No, I'm not.
I'm not?
Say it again. Oh, I
So cool.
In the outdoors.
Walter was there instead of me.
Sorry, I am trying to unshare. I just really am such an idiot. I don't see the button. I suppose I could quit the meeting and come back.
No, let Jan share. I feel good about that.
So while we're waiting, what is the date of the newest plan? Is it today, Walter?
The last ones I sent, no, because I just added that one thing. I believe it's the 12th of February. I can check it out. Whatever.
The date on the plan.
February 13th. I think the plans are February 12th. Let me just see if I can figure that out.
Well, Walter, if you modified your plan, you have to indicate the date of modification.
Okay, so that would be today's date. And I will be sure to make sure that you have a plan that has that date on it.
Okay, and moving forward, that helps us so we know which plan is approved.
Yes, of course. So I will take this one that I just added the doors to and make that today's date.
Okay, So, let me open my email.
We're gonna need more quarters soon.
We also are gonna have a overtime challenge, so we'll see how this goes.
Right, I'm looking at a,
If Kim goes, we still have forum, but if somebody votes nay, we got nothing.
okay. Walter, maybe you just want to share your screen again.
Yes.
I don't-
Okay, hold on one second. Let me do that.
What's your time?
I really should be out of here like 5 after 12. I have to.
We got 10 minutes. But
How many people have to
There should
this
be.
is it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's with James Smith, my boss, so you know.
So, I apologize. I'm having a little technical problem again, but you all had the submittal that had the photographs. That was the original submittal, and I was only going to show you a photograph of the front door and to assure you that our intention is to restore that door and assembly as they are.
Okay. Let me,
But I'm done with my presentation because I think we touched on the things that we were asked to touch on.
okay. I have the,
I'd really love to, if you're saying the front door is going to be the same door or a replica thereof?
No, it's the same door, same side lights, same trim,
Then
everything.
Door in the rear.
That's the front door.
Okay, that's the front door.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we can take the word for that, and that could go in the C of A, that it is the same door, same side lights, same construction. We don't need to waste time on it.
Yeah, it wasn't singled out as a demolition, so that was my signal to you that there's no change, it'll be repaired.
All right, so what are the outstanding issues? Because I
We
prefer
needed,
to have Kim here. Yeah,
we needed the chimney spec, which you provided, it was the door spec, which you've now provided, and the window spec. That's what we're missing.
those were the missing bits from the prior meeting.
Jen, did I miss anything?
no, that is correct, but Walter is also correct in that a member of the public asked about the front of the house. So just for the record, could you just help,
Well, what was the question that was asked by a member of the public on the front?
Walter, you just mentioned it?
Yes, either Ronald or Matt McGee mentioned that we hadn't detailed the front entry. And I'm saying the front entry is intact. It needs some love and attention, but our intention is to repair and restore as it exists, no substitution. The door is fine.
So it's
Okay,
not
so-
part of this application, because no changes are proposed.
So you satisfied everything that was requested from the prior meeting?
I hope so.
I think so.
So
Great.
Jen, we have a CNA prepared, but the date of the plans needs to be changed.
The date will be changed to today's date. Is that correct? May I have a motion to find the application complete? Hugh and Phil, all in favor?
No, yes.
Yes.
May I have a motion, public hearing, and ask the city attorney to prepare a
Well,
CFA?
no, we have a CNA,
We're done?
but we have to vote on it.
We have a C of A here.
Let's vote to approve it.
Okay. Can you walk us through it?
Let's go pull it up and we're gonna change the date real quick. The match the new plan date.
Excellent.
Which you can provide.
Fun. Hello. Hello.
Thank you all.
Let me move this over. Victoria, I believe
Oh,
this is it.
that's it. So we get to where it says on the application as modified on March 22nd, 24. In the text,
The microphone is open now.
modified on March 22nd, should now say as modified on April 12th, 2024. And then, it was for the entry stair sidewalk with the paving, the new stair canopy, new porch, new chimney, replacement in kind of the metal roof, replacement in kind of wood windows, and a shed dormer on the rear of the building. And did I hear that you're not replacing the metal roof now?
Well, the microphone is open.
That is correct. No,
Leave it
no
open or
roof.
turn it off and turn it back on. They're not
Someone stop, you guys can shoot out these.
They're not.
Could have the public mute themselves while we get this, and I see Mr. Kukmicki, your hand is raised, let us just work through this real quick.
Let's finish this and we'll discuss.
Okay, what would you like me to delete, is the metal roof?
I think that's what Walter said.
Walter, I've heard different versions of the roof story.
So
What-
sorry, so we found out that the whole roof was replaced with your approval with the timberline shingles by the previous owner. So I was wrong. There is no metal roof.
So
Yeah.
we're deleting replacement.
So the roof is out
Yes,
of this. Thank you.
we'll just match it where we repair. Yeah.
So I will be,
We just.
Retained and matched as necessary.
So we're retaining the existing shingle roof.
Correct.
Done.
Okay, great.
okay. Okay, Victoria, is correct?
I can't see it, but I'm assuming it is.
It says, the application is modified on April 12th, 2024. For new entry stairs and sidewalk with side paving and a new stair and canopy, a new porch, new chimney. Existing timberline shingles will be retained and matched as necessary. Replace them in kind of wood windows and a shed dormer on the rear of the building pursuant to the specifications submitted to the commission.
Okay, I mean, I think we have the new plan set.
Excellent.
It's good.
Where was we on voting?
All we have to do is vote on this, is approving this C of A.
Okay, motion to,
I made
with
that
public hearing
motion.
for the C of A, that would be John and you, all in favor? We have 4, so we got it done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Walter.
We have.
Sure.
I think we're losing quorum. Wait, it's over.
You said it's over.
Mr. Kukmicki, I see you have your hand raised. Would you like to-
You're losing quorum, the meeting.
No, I'm here.
Mr.
Mr. Mac would like to speak first, and then I would like to say a few words.
Yes, I'm sorry that you went ahead and did the vote without actually, I had asked to understand what was happening with what they were tearing down of part of the building. The addition they referred to. I also asked to see the plans, having them posted online so that the public could see them. I was told that would be done. It wasn't done. I really think this has been handled in a way that really excludes the public. And I really don't know what to say about it. I just think the conduct, there was no roll call today, the way the meetings are done.
We did do a roll call today.
You did. It wasn't broadcast.
Call the roll.
It was not broadcast. In any case, we're not getting to see things before they come. And the plans are, you guys see them, we don't. And
I think that's why we're the commission. Because we actually do work with code enforcement and the applicant, sometimes right up through the meeting presentation. So to distribute those, I think would be a disservice to the process. But
I mean, keeping the public in the dark is
if you feel
preferable.
we're mishandling it, you should absolutely go to the mayor and make your thoughts known. Or you should ask to get a position on the commission.
I know, I want to say the reason that we are doing this hybrid meeting format and projecting all the plans is so that the public is seeing exactly what the HPC is doing. So there is simultaneous viewing between public.
It's not what he's asking for. He's asking for a preview, even before the commission has a forum to discuss.
But you're required to do this.
No, I'm not required to do it, but take it
24
up.
hours in advance.
This is Ronald Kopnicki. I'd also like to make an additional comment. I had asked 3 weeks ago that whenever you got Mr. Chatham's revised plans, that the documents be posted on the city website. Now, there have been on occasion in the past, there is a category on the webpage called application packages. And that's what I'm talking about. I think whenever the commission has these plans and proposals available in digital form, they can, and apparently in the past they have been posted online. And this is for the benefit of the public, so that the public has an opportunity to comment, to know in advance what's going to be presented, and can comment in a more intelligent fashion. I don't think this is impossible. I think it's quite possible. Historic preservation has been found to be in the public interest. And I think to the extent that the public gets information in advance of the meetings, this is of benefit. I have a few other, I mean, for example, to my mind, the notion of giving kind of partial approvals and voting partial certificates of appropriateness and saving certain elements for later ends up consuming more time than ultimately is saved. I don't think it's a very good idea. And just an additional comment, for example, on the matter of the minutes that you voted to approve from the last meeting are not available to the public yet online. The commissioners know what's in those minutes. The applicants seem to know what's in the minutes, but the public doesn't know. And for example, this is just a general case. If a member of the public, like I did at the last meeting, has commented, I have no opportunity to see whether I think my comments were accurately reported or not when you vote to approve the minutes. So these are some of my comments about procedure. I think it's absolutely possible for the so-called application packages to be posted online as soon as the commission has them. If there's a technical issue, I would like to hear about it, but I think as a general idea, the more the public knows ahead of time in order to facilitate intelligent commentary, the better.
And I would like to add that the open meetings law requires that documents which are going, the agenda with its documents, accompanying documents, be posted 24 hours in advance. And you have to show what the people are going to be showing, the plans, everything are supposed to be posted. And we're supposed to know what's going to be on what the topics are. But the documents are supposed to be available 24 hours in advance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.